Hey everybody, Josh from Right Coast Off-Road. Finally able to show you guys the tender springs that we finished up in November, and with the COVID nonsense and everything, it's been such a nightmare to get these produced, but here we are, we finally got them. Everybody knows the stock KRX, one of the biggest issues is sagging suspension. We've got 32s on this machine. I just measured it. We're at 13 in the front, and in the rear we're right around 11 and a half, which isn't terrible, but considering they're supposed to be around 14 stock with 31s, it's pretty bad. So yep, and also our suspension is at the maximum setting according to the manual. I don't like going past that, but that's what you get. So our solution for that is our tender spring kit. Here's your fronts, here's your rears, much higher rate, 100% made in the USA. Another thing that makes our product stand out is these are coated at the manufacturer. So the only color you're going to get, unfortunately, is black. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want green or silver or whatever, which is, I understand people want their springs to match, but at the same time, we can't buy, 300 of each color to put in there, and we're definitely not going to get these things coated like other places are doing, because anybody that knows anything about suspension springs, once you start coating them and playing with them, you're messing with the rate, the quality of the steel, and everything. Like I said, these are coated at the manufacturer, so after the coating is done, the rate is checked, the length is checked, everything's checked, and they're spot on when we get them, so we can ship them out to you guys. But there you go. You can see kind of got the ghost gray RCOR on there, and then RCOR, the part number, and then you got an R at the end for rear, and same deal on the front. And I'm trying to get zoomed in where you guys can see it. I'm sorry if you can't. And then you got an F at this one for front, R for rear, F for front. But yeah, we're gonna do an install video. It's not hard at all. You can do it in your shop. You don't have to have a spring compressor. You don't have to have anything. We're gonna give you the crossover settings and the preload settings and everything. So this will be a do-it-all video. And once we're done, we'll go drive the KRX around, then come back, measure the clearance, and you guys can see where we're at. All right, guys. First step to installing tender springs. Get your machine jacked up where the tires are just barely off the ground, because when you pull the shock out, the suspension is going to droop all the way, and you don't want it to be, a foot off the ground and then it drops down and messes your axles up or anything. But just get the tire barely off the ground just to take the pressure off of the shock. And you've got 17 millimeter bolt with a nut up here. Both are 17s, same on that side, and then both the same at the bottom, and pull the front shocks off. All right, guys, same deal for the rear. Just jack the rear end up as high as you can, just to the tires off the ground. I mean, just so there's no pressure on it. So then that way, when you remove that 17 nut and bolt and that 17 nut and bolt, the suspension doesn't drop out from under it and damage the axles. But yeah, pop the rear shocks off, and then you'll see how to install the springs and where we want you to set them at for the initial setup.
Hey guys, this is Chad with Right Coast Off-Road. Going to show you guys today how to install our new tender spring kit for the KRX 1000. It's a very simple process. You actually don't need many special tools to do this. So I want to kind of take you guys through, show you a good detailed video of the front and rear shock, so you guys know how to properly install the new kit. We'll show you over here the tools that are required. Like I said, very simple. Some general purpose lubricant, tape measure, punch. We prefer brass. A regular steel punch will work just fine. We use aluminum jaws here in the shop, but you can always use soft jaws for inserts, just to protect the shock itself. Hammer and just a flathead screwdriver for pulling the bottom out bumper down the rod, so you can remove the retaining ring. And we'll go ahead and get started here and show you how easy this process is. So first, what you want to do is come in and loosen your locking ring. Go ahead and wind that down. Always make sure too, before you start, your threads are as clean as possible. And I always recommend putting a little bit of lubricant on the threads, yay. And that's just going to ensure everything spins nice and smoothly. So go ahead and wind this down. Just a couple inches is fine. And before you start to remove the tender and mainspring, go ahead and come in here and also unloosen your crossover rings because we will be running a different position with our new spring kit. So you just come in, tap those around like so, spin those, and actually you will just run those down the shock body several inches as well, just so it clears the crossover so you can get the springs removed. So after that's done, you can actually just grab the main spring. You will notice your load ring will actually spin as you turn. No need to tap this around with a screwdriver or punch. So you can actually just grab the springs here, and you can see there that it all turns together. And so what you want to do, you want to loosen this enough. Before I get ahead of myself here, guys, forgot one step here. I want to show you guys. To remove your spring retaining ring, you need to come in here and pull this bottom out bumper down the rod just a bit so you have clearance to get this off. Be sure not to hit the rod itself. Like I said, you don't have to pull it down too far to get clearance, and once you get enough, you can actually just get your hand in there and push it down the rod like so. So what you will do is just continue to unwind the springs down until you get enough clearance, and you'll see you can actually just come right in here. You can slide that ring right off like so. So once you remove the springs, and we do recommend just wiping everything down, keeping everything clean as possible. That way you have no grime or grit inside your collars, anything that just could cause rubbing problems. So just always make sure everything is nice and clean. So go ahead and remove your stock tender spring there. And then we will go ahead and install, and all our springs are marked as you saw in the video before. For the front shock, it'll always be a F at the end of your part number. And of course, the rear always have an R, but just always know the F is going to be for your front spring. We recommend putting these springs on with the RCOR. So once the shock's in the upright position, you will, the lettering will be in the upright position. So just situate these down on the collar, and what we will do is go ahead and, like I said, always just make sure everything is wiped out, clean, no grit. It's just going to ensure that you keep your rubbing to a minimal. Go ahead and put this down, and then we can go back, put your main spring on. And so you can see we're quite a bit above the lower clevis here. So we're actually going to have to drop this on down. Okay guys, now that we had our collars run down, we have enough room. We want to make sure that we have enough room to go back and put our spring retainer. Just goes right back on there like that. And then what you can do is, there again, same process as removing it. We will actually just preload, and you can just turn the springs again. And that's why I say lube these threads. It makes this process very easy. Makes the spring retaining rings turn, or preload collars turn very smooth and easy for you. And so what we want to do is run this up. We want to make sure this collar is centered and locks good on the clevis. All right guys, now we have our springs preloaded. I'm going to go over the measurements that we recommend for the baseline, your starting point. So what you want to do is run this collar up, and I recommend taking your measurement. We recommend 5 inches. It's going to be from the edge of your upper mounting clevis to the edge of your locking ring here. So we recommend going 5 inches to the edge there, and then always be sure to come back and tighten your locking ring down well. Just a couple good punches there will do it. So now we want to set our crossover ring. This is very important as well. So since you had that loose prior to disassembly, we recommend coming, and you always want to measure from the flat of the spring. You can see how the coil starts rolling up here. So you always want to measure from a flat to the top edge here of your crossover ring. We recommend 3.5 inches for the starting point. So you can come in here and you measure right to the top edge, and 3.5 is where you want to be. Like I said, these are our recommendations that we have tested. And we will go over in a bit about some other tuning options and preload. Another key important factor you always want to make sure is we recommend indexing the springs from end coil to end coil of the mainspring 180 degrees. So just 180 degrees opposite of each other. This can be done easily by just rotating the springs around to both end coils or 180. If you have any issues with any binding, popping, anything like that, you can put them at 90 degrees, 270 degrees. 180 generally is kind of the best starting point. So that's also critical that you do that. So once you have everything preset, and you come back and also lock in your crossover rings and just tap them on the notches there. Be careful not to get into your shock threads, as if you hit your threads, you could damage, and that'll just make, if you have to remove or change a setting, that can make it really hard to turn the rings. So just be really careful not to do that. So come back, couple good taps, lock that in, and that's really all it is to it. As you can see, it's a very simple, quick process. It always goes smooth if you pressure wash your threads well. Like I said, lube the threads. Everything will come off pretty easy, and really simple process. And what we'll do next, we'll actually go over the rear spring as well. It's the same process, but we just like to show the details, and we'll show the measurements. So we'll continue that here in a bit. Hey guys, so we got the rear tender spring installed. Same process as before, same tools. You just want to make sure your threads are clean again. As far as load measurements, we recommend 8 inches, again, from the edge of the clevis to the bottom edge of the lock ring. And then as far as your crossover rings, we recommend 4 inches on the rear. So you again want to measure from the flat of the edge of the tender spring here to the top edge of the, it's kind of hard to see because of the coil there, but basically the top edge of the crossover ring will be 4 inches. Again, always make sure you're centered on your retaining ring, and as always, we recommend 180 degree index on end of the coils. And one thing I didn't mention in the video for the front, but this also applies to the rear. If you need to adjust ride height, we recommend 1/2 inch at a time. But when you adjust, you have to also come back and keep your same dimensions on your crossover rings. And so we recommend, again, 4 inches on the rear and 3.5 on the front. So keep that in mind, 1/2 inch adjustments at a time. And be sure to go back and lock everything in accordingly, and bolt up, guys, and enjoy the ride.
All right guys, here we are. Chad went over all the measurements and everything with you. This is our shop machine. I showed it to you in the beginning of this install video. We were 13-ish in the front, 11-ish in the rear. We are now at 15 3/4 front and 15 3/4 rear with 32-inch tires. So it's spot on. We measure from the lower tab right there on the front A-arm, lower A-arm mount, and then from where the frame starts to flatten out right here, it's right there. And like I said, we're right at 15 3/4. And again, like Chad touched on, this isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. You've got to adjust them to get your clearance right. I'm confident that you can put this on your machine and you're going to gain clearance. The springs are much higher quality, much higher rate. But if you want a little bit more, a little bit less, you can adjust them out on your own. Just keep your crossovers the same like Chad talked about. And other than that, guys, thank you for the business. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, as always, shoot us an email, rightcoastoffroad@gmail.com. Give us a call, go to our website, use the contact button. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good day.